Hey, Cowboys Nation. This is Cowboys Wire News, your home for breaking news, smart analysis, rumors, and film room insights. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a snap. Let's talk America's team. Patrick Surtain to the Dallas Cowboys. Just let that sink in for a second. We've been talking about the Cowboys secondary for years. Talent here, flashes there, but never truly elite consistency. Now, with Surtain arriving in Arlington, everything changes. This isn't just another trade rumor or off-season buzz. This is the kind of move that shakes an entire conference. Picture Trevon Diggs and Patrick Surtain, two lining up across from each other on Sundays. Two shutdown corners, both young, both ridiculously athletic, both with that rare mix of instincts and swagger. Cowboys fans have been begging for a secondary that can stand up to San Francisco, Philadelphia, and Detroit. Now they might have one that can dominate them. Surtain brings poise, discipline, and that Alabama DNA that Nick Saban seems to forge out of pure steel. Add that to Dan Quinn's aggressive system, and suddenly, the Cowboys have a defense that looks not just scary, but terrifyingly complete. You can almost feel the excitement radiating from the star in Frisco, as if everyone knows something big just shifted. If this rumor holds true, Dallas might finally have their missing piece, the elite CB1 they've dreamed of since Deion Sanders roamed the field. And here's where it gets wild. The ripple effect this move could have across the league. Opposing quarterbacks are already sweating at the thought of facing Diggs and Surtain together. One thrives on risk, jumping routes and turning games upside down in a single snap. The other is a technician, cool under pressure, gliding in perfect position like he's running the receiver's route himself. That balance, that contrast, could make them the most dangerous cornerback duo in the NFL. Teams will have to rethink their entire passing strategies when facing Dallas. Slot receivers will see more action, tight ends will become safety valves, and coordinators will lose sleep trying to find mismatches. Surtain's ability to erase WR1S means Micah Parsons can attack more freely, the safeties can play more aggressively, and Quinn can dial up exotic pressures without worrying about getting burned deep. It's chess, not checkers. And Surtain is the piece that makes the whole board shift. You can feel it coming. A defensive renaissance in Dallas, the kind that could finally balance out that explosive offense and turn America's team into a true contender. The buzz around this possible move is electric, and what's fascinating is how calculated it feels. Jerry Jones has always loved star power. He thrives on spectacle, but this one isn't just flashy, it's smart. Patrick Surtain, too, isn't a gamble. He's a guarantee. He's been the most consistent corner in the AFC West, often shadowing the best receivers in football, Davante Adams, Keenan Allen, Tyreek Hill, and making them work for every single yard. That's the kind of player Dallas hasn't had in years, someone who changes game plans before the game even starts. If this deal goes through, it signals a philosophical shift in Dallas, from entertainment to execution, from highlight plays to disciplined dominance. And make no mistake, Surtain fits that mold perfectly. He's quiet, methodical, laser-focused. While Diggs brings that edge and energy, Surtain brings the calm and control. Together, they could form the best yin-yang corner tandem in the league. The Cowboys have been knocking on the door for a while, but this might be the key that finally unlocks it. Imagine the crowd at AT&T Stadium roaring as quarterbacks hesitate to throw. That's what Surtain brings, a fear factor that changes everything. Of course, every big move comes with its skeptics. Some fans wonder if giving up draft capital or cap flexibility is worth it. Others question whether adding another star corner is the best way to build long-term. But when you look at what Dallas has been missing, those big defensive stops in playoff games, those crucial moments where coverage collapses, it's hard to argue that this isn't the kind of move elite teams make. Championship windows don't stay open forever, and the Cowboys know it. Dak Prescott is in his prime, CeeDee Lamb is ascending, and Micah Parsons is already a generational talent. You don't waste that by waiting for next year. You go all in right now. And Surtain, at just 24, fits both the win now and build for the future timelines perfectly. That's rare. He's not just a short-term rental. He's a foundational piece. If the Cowboys pull this off, they'll have built something sustainable, a defense that can grow together and dominate for the next 5 seasons. Sometimes, you have to bet big to win big, and this feels like that moment. What's crazy is how seamlessly Certain could fit into this Cowboys defense. He's already played in schemes that mix zone disguises with pressman responsibilities, just like Quinn's system. He excels at reading quarterback eyes, baiting throws, and exploding on the ball. But more than that, he communicates. Coaches rave about his football IQ, his ability to diagnose plays before the snap. In Dallas, surrounded by players like Parsons and Diggs, that kind of mind could elevate the entire defense. It's not just about his coverage, it's about leadership. Imagine him helping the safeties line up, calling out shifts, keeping everyone synced when chaos hits. That's the difference between good and great. The Cowboys have talent at every level of the defense, but sometimes talent needs a conductor. Certain can be that voice, that anchor. And with the spotlight of Dallas, with that star on his helmet, you just know he's going to embrace the moment. He's built for pressure, built for prime time, built for January football. And now, everyone's asking the same question. If this rumor is true, how far can the Cowboys go? Because let's be honest, the offense is already capable of putting up 30 any given Sunday. What they've lacked is the defense that can get the critical stop when it matters most. Last season's heartbreaks all had one thing in common: the inability to finish defensive series late in big games. That's where Certain comes in. He's not just another body in the secondary, he's a finisher, a closer, the kind of player who turns potential into production. If he joins this roster, the Cowboys might finally have their championship formula: a balanced, fearless, complete football team. The NFC better take notice, because Dallas isn't just making noise anymore. They're sending a message. The Patrick Certain 2 era in blue and silver could mark the start of something special, something historic. And if it happens, we'll all look back on this moment, this rumor, and realize it was the spark that lit the fire. Now imagine the reaction once the deal becomes official. The fan base would explode. Cowboys Nation would flood social media, memes would rain down, and every sports show in America would dedicate a full segment to the new defensive juggernaut. It's not every day that a franchise with this much history gets even stronger on the side of the ball that's already its backbone. And the best part? This move sends a message not just to the fans, but to the locker room. It tells everyone, we're serious about winning. That kind of energy is contagious. It lifts practice intensity. It sharpens focus. It makes every player feel like they're part of something destined for greatness. That's what Certain represents: a spark, a catalyst. With him in the mix, this team could redefine what Cowboys football looks like in the modern era: fast, physical, fearless. And when that first interception comes, when Certain jumps a route, flips the field, and the crowd erupts, it'll hit everyone at once. The new Dallas identity has arrived. Let's talk legacy for a second, because Patrick Certain 2 isn't just any corner. He's part of football royalty. His father, Patrick Certain Sr., was one of the best corners of his generation, a Pro Bowl mainstay in Miami. That pedigree matters. It's in his blood to study film, to refine technique, to understand the little nuances that separate good corners from great ones. Bringing that kind of mindset to the Cowboys locker room adds something intangible, a sense of professionalism and lineage that elevates everyone around him. Think about the impact of having a player like that on young defensive backs like Darren Bland. Iron sharpens iron, and that competition could create an elite culture in Dallas secondary. You can already picture the practice duels, the film sessions, the laughter mixed with intensity. Certain doesn't just fit the Cowboys, he completes them. He's the calm in the chaos, the technician who allows the flashier players to play free. When history looks back, this move could be remembered as the one that turned the Cowboys' defense from very good to legendary. But here's the twist. The Broncos aren't exactly eager to let Certain go. They know what they have. And that's what makes this rumor so tantalizing. It's not supposed to happen, yet it feels inevitable. The Cowboys front office has been known to pull off surprises when the timing feels right, and this one feels right. The Broncos are in transition, maybe looking for offensive firepower or draft capital. The Cowboys, on the other hand, are in win-now mode. The math checks out. The need checks out. The story checks out. And sometimes in the NFL, when all those stars align, the impossible becomes reality. Insiders whisper that talks have quietly been ongoing, that Dallas has been exploring creative trade packages, and that Denver is at least listening. Whether it's smoke or fire, it's enough to get every fan leaning in, refreshing their feeds, waiting for that blue check tweet to drop. Because if it does, if the Cowboys actually pull this off, the entire NFC picture tilts instantly. And that's why this rumor has everyone talking like it's already happened. Before we roll on, subscribe to Cowboys Wire News, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Your support keeps the Dallas Cowboys updates coming. Tell us what you think in the comments. There's also the psychological aspect, how SURTAIN's arrival could shift the team's mindset. Defenses with true lockdown corners play differently. They carry themselves differently. Confidence radiates. The safeties take more chances, linebackers attack gaps faster, and the pass rush feeds off the coverage. It becomes a feedback loop of destruction. And the Cowboys, for all their offensive highlights, have been searching for that defensive swagger since the early 90s. SURTAIN gives them that. He's not loud, but his presence speaks volumes. Opponents respect him. Teammates follow him. And when he lines up across a top receiver and erases him for 4 quarters, the entire sideline stands taller. That's the kind of intangible you can't measure, but you can feel. If this move happens, you can bet Dan Quinn will have a field day designing new coverages, disguises, and blitzes around his new toy. It's not just a trade. It's a transformation, a culture shift disguised as a personnel move. And in Dallas, that kind of transformation could be the final piece to the championship puzzle. Still, every great story needs tension, and this one's no exception. Some insiders claim that the asking price is steep, perhaps a first-round pick and more. But think about it. When was the last time a truly elite corner in his prime hit the market? You don't get opportunities like this often. And for the Cowboys, who have spent years trying to build through the draft, maybe it's time to cash in some chips. Because draft picks are potential, SURTAIN is production. He's the sure thing. A cornerstone player who changes everything the moment he steps on the field. So even if the cost is high, the return could be priceless. Dallas is already close, so close. You can sense it in every post-game interview, every frustrated look after playoff exits. They know they're right there. SURTAIN might be the move that pushes them over that invisible line from almost to absolutely. If you're going to swing, you swing for the fences, and this would be a home run of epic proportions. And when it's all said and done, whether this rumor turns into reality or just fades into off-season legend, one thing's certain, it's changed the conversation. Cowboys fans are dreaming again. Analysts are redrawing their power rankings. Players are watching, wondering, hoping. Because moves like this don't just build rosters, they build belief. And that belief is powerful. It fuels a franchise, unites a fan base, and turns whispers into war cries. Patrick Surtain 2 to the Cowboys. It sounds almost too perfect. But sometimes, in football, the perfect storm really does hit. And when it does, it leaves a mark that lasts for generations. If this one happens, it won't just be another trade. It'll be the beginning of a new Dallas era. The kind that doesn't just chase glory, but defines it. That's a wrap from Cowboys Wire News. For breaking Cowboys updates, subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Tell us your take in the comments.